Hello there, Pamela Nance Lee here, certified wellness coach specializing in diet-free weight loss. Here to talk to you today about Summer Self-Love. This is my fourth video in a 6-week series. And today what I want to cover is cleaning out your closet. And I'm not talking about your at-home closet, although I really do believe that if you start decluttering on the physical level, you also declutter on the emotional level. Last week, I talked about the reveal, the mask, harboring projections that we grew up with, and creating this adapted child or this masked persona so that we could move within our families of origin and in society at large. It basically goes against the grain of who we might naturally be, but we learned these adapted behaviors, and some of them have been running our operating systems for a long time. And you know, you've heard people talk about doing a spiritual bypass. That would be if you do not look at these deeper emotions, these places basically where you were told that you weren't good enough, that you didn't measure up, that you were to this or to that, or that you weren't enough this or enough that. Could have been that you were told, and it didn't have to be in words. Nobody needed to say to you, you're unlovable. And in fact, that would be very cruel if they did. And I wouldn't put it past some people to be that cruel. I have been doing work for years, and I have heard a lot of damage that was bestowed upon people, and that came from people that were wounded themselves, parents that never did their own work, parents that didn't get what they needed. I mean, this is part of the human condition, is that we are wounded and we do wound. And where we take it to the next level is to look at the places that we got wounded and do our best to heal those wounds and to be aware of them, so then we do not keep inflicting the damage on other people. You've heard that saying that wounded people wound. And so what we want to do now in the fourth video of my Summer Self-Love series is we want to look at those messages that we got, and I talked about this last week, so if you aren't familiar, if you didn't watch my last video, it's called The Reveal. It's my video 3 of my Summer Self-Love series. And so what we want to do with the information that you got from The Reveal, and just a quick review, is that the information that we got from the last video was that we had projections placed upon us as children, and we got messages as children, and from those messages we ended up adapting our behavior. Just a quick example, one of mine that I said was that I received the message, or the way I internalized the message, not that anyone said this to me, but because of the behavior that was going on around me from my caregivers, was that I wasn't lovable. And so how I reacted to this, like my adapted behavior was to become very tough. Like, I don't need you, I'm fine on my own, I'm good, I don't need people, I'm fine. So that is how that showed up. And other examples could be, you know, if you were told you weren't smart enough, in so many words, you might then become like the person that's condescending to others because you actually feel insecure in yourself. And so how you sort of adapt that behavior is to become like a know-it-all and to be sort of condescending. So we see that kind of stuff all the time. If you have constant bouts of anger, resentment, if you're easily triggered by other people, and you have these feelings that you don't know what to do with. And the way that you will know that you have this is often, and this is the clients that I work with, often you have developed a coping mechanism so you don't have to feel these uncomfortable feelings such as anger, resentment, loneliness, or incompetency, or have feelings like you're not good enough. We often, because those are very hard to feel, we often have developed coping mechanisms so that we don't have to feel those things. And the clients that I work with, the coping mechanism has been, surprise, surprise, eating. So eating when you're lonely, eating when you're bored, eating when you're mad, eating when you don't know what else to do, anything except just eating when you're hungry. So if you are eating for other reasons than physical hunger, chances are you have some lingering clothes in your closet that no longer fit you. So you need to go digging in the closet of your being and unearth those pieces, which are thoughts and beliefs about yourself that aren't true. Here's the place where you need to do some work, okay? Because, people talk about, well, how am I gonna process that? How am I gonna release that? What's that look like? Well, there are many ways to process emotions. If you have had major heavy trauma in your life, and by that I mean sexual abuse, incest of any kind, physical abuse of any kind, if you were seriously abandoned, if you had, fighting parents, if you had alcoholic parents, yeah, there's some heavy stuff out there, man. How do we even make it? How do we even make it here? Let me tell you though, there is hope. No matter what you went through, no matter what trauma you survived, you can heal and mend from it and go on to have a healthy, loving life. And what we're working on right now is to have a healthy, loving relationship with you. You are the very first person, I've said this before, that you get to practice the skills of curiosity, kindness, non-judgmentalness, compassion, patience with you. Because, we were just all beautiful beings that got born. Probably we had some karma that we brought in. I do think there's the grand possibility that we did reincarnate. So there's probably some residual karma dust floating around. And through our socialization and through being reared in this culture, this individualistic, consumer-driven, not happy with ourselves culture, we got screwed up along the way. Pieces of us did. We did. And so what we want to do, though, is bring it into the light of day and just say, you know what? I did get the message that I wasn't lovable. Do I need to carry that message around with me now? No. Am I going to be everybody's cup of tea? Nope. But I'm going to be somebody's cup of tea, and I'm mostly going to be my cup of tea. That's right. I'm going to love and approve of myself. And if I do some shit and it wasn't right, if I screw up or if I make a mistake, which I will, and I have, and I will do again, then I own up to it. I'm not saying that my behavior is always something that I'm going to approve of. I'm going to do my best to do things that I'm going to approve of. I'm going to slow down and be, conscious, be conscious of where I'm at. But, I'm going to step on people's toes sometimes. I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to do an action that's going to disappoint somebody. And I'm going to own up to that and just be like, yeah, that was not right, and I apologize. And that will help keep me in alignment and respecting myself. I got to respect myself. I was talking this week on Facebook, well, talking with memes or whatever, that keeping promises to yourself is one of the biggest tools in the toolbox, because that's how you learn to trust yourself. Think about it. Did you have a caregiver that made promises to you and didn't keep them? How did that feel? Probably like shit. So now it's our job as adults to use our frontal cortex, our thinking, more modern brain, to make some conscious decisions here. And we have the unconscious that is from our limbic, older, primitive brain. We do have memories stored back there. We have behaviors back there that are from that time when we needed to adapt our behavior. So we need to pull it all together, We need to bring it all in. So some of the things you can do: somatic therapies, breath work. There's a great, great book called The Presence Process. Oh my God, if you do nothing else, get that book and do the breathing exercises. It is going to help you so much. It talks about being triggered and how our triggers are 80% from our history. So if you have somebody that keeps triggering you, a lot of it is from the past. And it helps you to be with these triggers, and it helps you to process your emotions. Oftentimes, the clients I work with, the first layer of emotion is either anger or resentment. So those are kind of capping things. Those don't let you sink down, because often below those are the harder to feels, like the real just like betrayed feelings, or the sadness, or just like the hopelessness. So it's easy to kind of keep us up here in the anger and find things to get angry about and get triggered in our anger, because that keeps us from having to sink down and get into the heart. Really does help, not help, it hinders us. So some ways to move your anger are get, very basic, a pillow, and you can hit your bed. Just hit your bed with a pillow and let yourself get mad. You can stomp your feet, things that get you into your body. Stomp your feet and cuss. I have screamed before in my car, like at the top of my lungs. In the training I did, we had a big cube and we would hit it with a mallet called the bataka. The rule is you cannot hurt yourself or anybody else, or any furniture. And this is something that needs to be done consciously. This is not like you've just lost your shit and you're beating up something. No, this is like a conscious thing to move energy in your body. I really suggest finding a somatic therapist. If you want referrals for that, I myself am not one. I was on the pathway to becoming one, and then COVID hit, and my 4-year program was shortened to 2 years. So I'm still on that pathway, but that's not work that I can legally do, or really, I can't really facilitate that, but I know people that can. So you can email me at bloomwithpamela@gmail.com, and I will definitely send you referrals. You can do a lot by breathing. And just when you get triggered, especially that book, The Presence Process, talks a lot about this. When you get triggered, you can, if possible, let the feelings arise that are being triggered within you without reacting. So it can take this takes some real skill here to say, okay, you're at work, somebody triggers you, to just be in the moment without reacting to it, and just let it kind of melt through all your body. I had it happen one time at work where this woman was sort of knocking my program and just kind of complaining and saying a lot of bad things about it. Not this program, but something else I did. And I was feeling like I wanted to get defensive. I wanted to start defending myself and defending my program. That's what wanted to come out of my mouth, but I just said, no, I'm just gonna allow this to trickle through me. And when I did that, I realized yeah, it is hard to hear when somebody's giving you negative feedback. Yeah, it's hard not to take it so personally, but I let it come in. I just let it come in and thanked her for the feedback and told her I'd get in touch with the person that she recommended I get in touch with, and just realized, you know what, yeah, this could just be something that's improving my program. You know, I don't have to take it like, because she is complaining about some things in my program, I didn't have to take it like I was a bad or wrong person, you know? So anyhow, the road to becoming more emotionally intelligent is kind of long, but if you desire to do it, there's lots of tools out there. You can look up emotional intelligence, because what we really want to do and where we want to get is to the place of where all our emotions are okay. They're coming to us for a reason. It's information to us, and we can handle and process all of them. And so it wraps around to my whole mission with my program, is that anything that you're doing to keep yourself from feeling your emotions, i.e. stuffing food in your face, is something that we want to set aside. Because in order to have a full life that you are loving with all of its ups and downs, in order to have a full life, it means you need to feel all of your feelings. You don't get to pick and choose. So if you're not allowing yourself to feel the pain and the sadness and the sorrow and the grief that has happened in your life, and we all have that. We all do. Nobody gets out of this planet without it. It's part of the experience here. It's part of it. We have both. And if you're not willing to feel the pain, the sadness, the sorrow, and the grief, you're not going to get the full experience with the love, the joy, the peace, the satisfaction, because you can't just get half a scoop. You can't just get, oh, I just want all the good shit and none of the shit that doesn't feel good. You just can't. You can't. And if you're weighing more than you want to weigh, if you're not comfortable in your body, if you're compulsively overeating, meaning you're eating when you're not hungry, I have to say, I mean, I don't want to speak in alls, like for sure, but most likely I will say you're not feeling some of your feelings. And that's very important for self-love, because loving ourselves means loving all of ourselves. Even the moments when we don't feel great, even when you are feeling sad or grief or bad, you can still love yourself. So that's video 4, Summer Self-Love. Clean out your closet. Clean out your emotional closet. While you're at it, clean out your physical closet. The two go hand in hand. Sow without, sow within. Sow within, sow without. All right, if you want to talk more about any of this, email me, bloomwithpamela@gmail.com. I would love to talk to you about it. It's so freeing. I lost 60 pounds after dieting for a lifetime. And I have never felt better about myself. I just signed up to teach a body pump class to learn how to get certified through Les Mills. Body pump. I'm 58 and I can't wait. So time is now. There's no reason to wait. There's no reason to wait. Okay. Take care. See you soon.